if you're building community, like you have to genuinely, you have to have a great why as to why you're building this community. If that's pure and that's your intentions are great and straight and narrow, it's gonna succeed. But when you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, that's a wave. Waves fizzle and die. And that could be what you're trying to build, and more power to you. But like that's not really my thing.
What's up, everybody? My name is Major Jaje. We're back for another episode of Beyond the Brand. It's been a while, and I'm so excited to pick things back up. Today, we're diving into stories of creatives, founders, and culture shifters doing the work behind the scenes. Today, my guest is a brother, a leader, and honestly, one of the most brutally honest people that I know. And he wears that badge proudly, you know. He's a creative, brand mind and community builder as well, and the engine behind some of the most vibrant run culture events in Philly and beyond. Let's give it up to my brother, Richard Issa Bakari. We want to introduce yourself to the people and tell them everything that they want to know about you.
That was one of the best intros I've ever had. Can you do that again? Goodness gracious. Richard Issa Bakari, child of God, son of Agnes, brother to Julie and Jenna, uncle to Riley and Jada. Eyes are watering a bit. That's me in a nutshell, man. That's my identity right there.
That's your identity.
That's my
right
identity
now.
when it comes to me. If you know those people, then you know me.
Yeah. So, for the people who don't know much about what you do outside of what you just said, you want to tell them more about
Outside of being a family man.
Yeah, outside of being a family man, you want to tell them more about, what you do in terms of runners hospitality, your run crew, the events in Philly, and everything else that you do.
Everything, golly. I can talk about myself for hours, but hate doing it. I started a run crew once upon a time. From that, I built that Issa Run Crew for everyone that doesn't know. And then Runners Hospitality was built. And then Runners Hospitality is, I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's just this idea that I had that anywhere you go in the world as runners, you should be able to get a little bit of that home cooking and a home feeling that you know somebody and can be welcomed into this sometimes wonderful culture of ours. So those are the two things I guess we're here to talk about is Issa Run Crew and Runners Hospitality, my two babies.
So how does that all tie into Philly in terms of the identity and what you built? I know you're not originally from Philly.
Not even close.
Yeah,
Well, kind of. I'm close. From South Jersey. A lot of my everything's in Philly. A lot of my friends are in Philly. I used to work in the city. So once upon a time in 2017, yeah, gosh, it's been a while. I decided I wanted to start my own run crew. I used to run with OPAC. Shout out to Brody and those folks. And I just felt like I needed something a little bit different, a little bit more grow. I outgrew what we were doing at OPEC, which isn't a bad thing. You should be growing at all times. And with what I had going on in life, I wanted my own run crew. And at first, I called it, people don't know this, Running with Richard Issa. I love my name, if you don't know that. Yeah, literally, love my name. I want to say it as many times as I can. It was Running with Richard Issa. It was just some friends. We met on a Monday. That was it. I just wanted to bring my friends together to do this thing that I love so much, which is running. And from that, it just grew. I don't know how deep you want to go into the growing of it, but it was stagnant for a little bit. I'd say about 2 years it was stagnant, and then we started throwing in some track workouts. That's when it really took off. 2019 through the tempo track workouts. Track Thursdays were our thing. So on Mondays, you got a really chill, relaxed Monday night run, which we call Monday night therapy. And then Thursday, when you're really trying to get after it, that's when you pull up to Thursday. So it started taking a little bit of a dual identity. So you had like the people that just want to get leisure miles on Monday, and then like folks that are trying to PR on Thursdays. But then everyone started kind of mixing and mingling at the events. One thing from the beginning of Issa Run Crew, I always said, because I have a nightlife background, is I'll do the social shit better than every single person here. We might not have the biggest or the fastest run crew, which is never my goal. It's just to bring people together. But when it comes to the stuff outside the running, I'm always going to be better than all of you people. So at these, honestly, I still feel like that to this day. So like at the team dinners and like the after parties, that's when like the Mondays and the Thursday folks would mingle, and then we just became this one big family. And that was it really took off in 2019. That was like our coming out party.
So How do you think all of that has changed in terms? I know we just wrapped up marathon weekend.
Yeah.
You know, how do you think running has changed between when you started running the crew in 2017 to now 2025? That's almost what, not 8 years now.
Yeah, going on year 9. Running as a whole?
Yeah, running as a whole, the crew,
Oh
the
God,
whole
the
Philly
the
running scene.
the running boom, as they say. I think it's a love and hate relationship I have with running, right? Well, the culture of it. So more people are doing it, which is great because more people moving is the goal. Movement is medicine, and I think that everyone should move in some way, shape, or form every day. Cool, it's great. But because of that awful thing, social media, the why as to why people are running and getting into this scene and the culture, not everyone comes with pure intentions, and that's where you kind of lose me. But people are moving, so you got to look at the positives before you look at the negatives. People are moving, and I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of new runners in the Philadelphia area, and it's good to see in some levels.
So you would say that it's becoming more of a cultural movement as far as either outside of a sport.
Yeah, yeah. You got a lot of, I don't want to call them hobby joggers, but I will for the sake of this discussion. Got a lot of people that just are out there to, yeah, I guess hobby joggers in like community. Just want to be around people. Motherfuckers are lonely, right?
Yeah.
So if they see a place where they can meet people, get off their screens, and do something fitness minded in the same at the same place, a run club or a run event is a good place to do it.
So let's talk about a little bit more about what you did prior to, running Issa Run Crew and events and
So many
things like
things.
that. You've worked in food service, property management, tracksmith, Solomon, brand consultant. You even have been a writer. What type of things were you writing? Like, what was that? What was that about?
Before I feel like I've gotten into everything before they became cool. I'm such a hipster in that like as soon as something gets cool, I want no fucking parts of it. So back in 2010, I have a friend that's in the music industry, and I went down to South by Southwest with him before it became like super commercialized. And he had an artist badge, and I went down there because I wanted to start a vlog. This who is Richard Issa is what it's called. If you, there's a theme. So
He's a local celebrity over here, man.
in my head, I'm an A-list celebrity. So
Yeah.
the idea was to go down to South by Southwest and just follow my journey, have y'all follow my journey with these artists. I get down there and I realize that like, oh, nobody gives a fuck about me. I'm with Skrillex, I'm with Steve Aoki, I'm with 12th Planet, like some of now the biggest names in EDM. And I'm like, oh, I'd rather shoot them than me. So I took a bunch of pictures, had no idea what I was doing with the camera. I rented an SLR. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I was just taking these random pictures and videos all throughout the week. Back then in South by Southwest, there were a bunch of like showcases and like indie artists. Everyone was trying to get on. And I met this guy named Aware from Atlanta who started this, what was it, a life culture magazine called Greedmont Park. We chatted a little bit. He liked what I was doing up here in Philly. I used to throw parties and all that type of shit. And he's like, yo, you want to be a writer for us? Like, just let us know what's going on and somewhere outside of Atlanta. And I was like, fuck, let's do it. Because I had no idea what was going on. Who was Richard Issa was just like mutating. And every now and then I'd write a little column for Greenmont Park. One of the best things that ever happened to me, to be completely honest with you.
So out of all the things that I just mentioned that you did, what was the hardest thing that you have ever, really accomplished, and where, which one taught you most about
Well,
yourself?
that's a difficult one. I'd say my most recent position with Solomon was the most difficult. I don't come from a footwear background, so jumping into that world and the role that I had was trying to learn while on the job, which was cool. Like there's lots of people suffer from what's it called when you feel like you don't belong. Golly, what am I thinking
Peter,
of?
I don't know.
Oh, imposter
Yeah,
syndrome,
imposter
right? Lots of
syndrome. Yeah,
people suffer
I
from
was about to say
imposter
Peter
syndrome.
Parker syndrome.
Lots of people from what I talked to too many people, and imposter syndrome is something that comes up so much. And I have the opposite of that. Like, I feel like I can do anything. I'll figure it out. FIO, as my guy Joe Holder says, I will figure it out. Like, if you were like, I need an attorney, give me a couple weeks, I'll figure out how to win that case for you. So when it came to that role at Solomon, it was like I'll figure that out, but I know how to do the other thing aspects of the job, the community, the bringing people together, the people stuff. That comes naturally for me. So trying to balance the figuring out the role of the epicenter lead, as what I was called. It's basically a glorified tech rep, while focusing on my strengths. That was a little bit difficult because corporate's weird, man. You know how it is in this world. Like, I know what I'm good at, right? You can't tell me what I'm good at. You can't tell me anything about it because I'm really good at those things. And in my head, I was just gonna come to this company and like use those skills to compensate for what I wasn't good at, but bring it all together to being like the greatest employee ever. And it didn't work out like that. So that was difficult, but you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah. Well, you talked about it a little bit in terms of bringing people together and realizing that that was your strong suit. How did you and when did you realize that, this is my skill? I'm able to create a space for people and bring people together. And do you think you said it came natural to you, or did you never had to like learn it or
No,
anything?
never have to learn it. I jokingly say kindergarten was when I realized it, and I go back to I have a terribly crazy memory for like nonsense details. First day of kindergarten, we were outside playing. Zachary Hopkins, Kristen Mays were running around, and I went, "Hey, let's go play Ninja Turtles. You're this person." I started dictating the roles, and like that was my first like the community event that I ever built.
How
It's
do you
like
remember something from
I
kindergarten?
remember so many things from kindergarten, bro. I remember where we were at. I remember where I was wearing. It was insane. So like I got to kind of organize who's playing what and doing where. So
Yeah.
like that's like it's a joke, but it's kind of just been my life. Like in my friend group, I'm always the one that like organizes the hangouts. They always know like, yo, Rick, what are we doing? Because I'm organizing that, and that's just kind of me. I like being around people,
Mm.
and not just being around people. I have a very great sixth sense to figure out who are good people and not, unless it's dating. Terrible at that. But not only do I want to bring people together, I want to bring all the good people in my life. So I have different sects, like my high school friends, my run friends, my parent friends, but like bringing them together to do something. I don't know, dinner. You've been to my birthday parties, like the most random group of people ever, but that's just my love and my joy, my desire to bring people together. So, you know, when I started the Run Crew, like I said, because I have a little bit of a nightlife background, it was like, oh, I'm gonna do the people things better than all of you. So the first time after Ninja Turtles in kindergarten, I'd say the first runner's hospitality is when I realized like, oh, this is it. Like we got something here. Because people, like, again, I have no problem meeting people. It's not something I've ever had to learn to do or something I've ever had to work towards. But people find that very difficult. There's a lot of introverted people out there. Everyone's socially awkward. Everyone's just like used to their phones. So if you can do that work for them and just bring them with other people, oh, they'll love you forever for it. Because people want to be around one another.
So, you talked a little bit about runner's hospitality. What made that idea come to life? And was runner's hospitality and your run group, is that something that's two and two, or just like two different vibes in general?
They were together and they are now different. So we were in Chicago with Track Smith for the 2021 Chicago Marathon pop up. This is when I believe Track Smith did pop ups better than anybody for a while. Now people are starting to catch up a bit. But one of a very popular crew from Boulder, Colorado, was at our pop up every single day. I kind of used it as a hub for the Chicago Marathon weekend. And after that marathon, they sent us a very nice email like, hey, we just appreciate you guys giving us a place that we called home. So it came to my mind. I'm like, if this a crew, came to a major marathon and was looking for like a hub and a home and community, what about that person that has no club, no crew, has no idea what they're doing? They just come to run a race. And one of the saddest things on earth to me is when somebody just runs a race and then goes home. Like, you just ran a marathon, a half marathon, or whatever race it is you trained for. You should celebrate it. So I'm the type of guy, when I have an idea, I'm just gonna scream it from the heavens and tell everybody, because like I'm gonna do it regardless of if you think it's terrible or not. And it could be terrible, but I'm gonna figure it out on my own. So I go to the founder of Track Smith and I go, hey, Matt, got this idea. Why don't we go to some races that aren't majors and do these community events? And he was like, yeah, it's a cute idea, but like hit me with a couple of hurdles. And like, I don't see hurdles. Like I'm a focus on what the good things are with my idea, and we can figure out all that stuff later. Chatted with a couple of my friends at CLA, the hat company, the only brand I've ever been an ambassador for.
You know, I never knew how to pronounce that name
I
before.
might be saying it wrong.
I was like,
I
oh my
might be
God, I
saying it
think
wrong.
that was.
So I hollered at my guy, Martin at CLA, and again, I tell everyone about my ideas. And I was like, yeah. He's like, what's new? What do you got coming up? I told him, I said, hey, I think I'm going to go to Houston Marathon and a couple of other races and just put on like some events for some folks. And he was like, that sounds like a great idea. How much budget do you want? I'm terrible with money. When it comes to the money side of anything, I'm so bad. And because I'm so used to just doing things myself and like, cutting corners and hitting the homies for a favor. They ended up giving me some funds, sponsoring Runners Hospitality for a little bit, and that's when it was born. 2021 or 2021 or 22 Houston Marathon is when we did our first one, and it was just like I was like, I'm gonna throw this idea out there and see what happens. We put on a welcome dinner, welcome hangout for some folks, a shakeout run, and an after party. Those were the three events that I wanted to do. And they were a hit. We had about like 20 people from like 7 different parts of the country and Canada, total strangers. And we had ourselves a great weekend. And it was one thing I must say that before I ever go to any city, like I always tap in with the local folks. So I hit up some folks in the
You
local
did
running.
check in?
Yeah, I checked in.
You
Yeah, checked in. I don't
in.
check in, bro. I'm an OG. I tapped in, not checked in. There's a difference. No, but my guy Nick down there, he's now my guy. We linked up. He put me in touch with like a local coffee shop because I always want to like embrace the culture of the city that I'm going into. And yeah, so Houston 22 was probably the first. Not probably, that was the first one. It just used to be. I just used to do events as Issa Run Crew, right? And like, you know me, and people that have met me, I'm me to the core. And with that comes, not everybody like fucks with It's a Run Crew because they think I'm an asshole, but it's like, it's a run crew, guys. Like, it's not that serious. So in my head, this could not be true at all, but in my head, a lot of people were kind of standoffish when it came to events that It's a Run Crew was hosting because like they think we're the fast kids, they think I'm an asshole. So there were like kind of like barriers to them coming to an after party. Some people, it was very true. They thought I was an asshole, and we've talked, and we're now like the best of friends. So when I started Runners Hospitality, it was supposed to be for other cities, nothing of Philadelphia. And then I had this grand idea, like, hey, why don't I just start doing the events under Runners Hospitality as opposed to Issa Run Crew? That barrier's gone, and now folks that didn't come to events before. They come to events now. It's so crazy how something like that works.
yeah.
Like y'all now
They
know.
might not even watch this episode because
Oh yeah, no, definitely. People are gonna skip this episode because of me, and then they're gonna be like, they'll see some of the fire clips and be like, oh, I gotta watch.
working with some of those major brands like Tracksmith, Solomon. What are those? What do they teach you about trying to grow something and trying to build what is hospitality?
So I worked for those companies, so it was kind of like my. I had a lot of insight on how the running industry worked, and like I had a little bit of a behind the scenes, I guess, look into like how things go and how things work and how brands actually function. So it was kind of like night and day when it came to their involvement. I with Runners Hospitality, so with Issa Run Crew, Tracksmith, like we had like a crew discount and things like that. I don't really like tying my run crew to a brand. One, I don't mess with every brand on earth because that's just not my thing. But two, like because we're more of like a family than a run crew now, I I don't want to be like, hey, Major, you got to wear these sneakers because we're sponsored by them. Like, and you're like, bro, I don't like those shoes, right? I don't want to force anybody to do that. But Tracksmith being an apparel brand, like we had a discount with them and things like that, and like, here, use it if you want. So it was kind of an incentive to be with the crew, but like there's no membership fee. So like I just want to make the members of IRC their time not more valuable, because to me the people make it more valuable, but like give you some incentives to be a part of the crew, right? So you get some perks. Any perk that I have, I share with the crew. So like a discount with them, that's how it works. So that's with the run crew side of things. With Runners Hospitality, Tracksmith, yeah, they didn't really help me, but I got to see how they put on events and what worked and what didn't.
Yeah.
And what could work for me and what wouldn't work for me. So that was great. And then when I moved over to Solomon on my first week, again, when I have an idea, I'm running with it. I'll never. I was just telling this story. Olympic trials happened in Orlando in 2024, and that was my on my first week at the job. I go to the boss, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I got this thing. I'm going to Olympic trials. I'm doing this. We're doing a whatever the events we're doing. But the big thing's the after party. However you'd like to get involved, you let me know. And she's like, bet. And they like seeded a bunch of shoes that I like raffled off, and it was just like an incentive to come to the party. So like, that helped that they were willing to put a little effort and a little something into my idea. Makes you feel good when somebody supports you. So thank you, Solomon.
So I know you said you don't typically like to tie yourself to a certain brand. As them, actually I never knew that people when if you're tied into a brand like that as a Run Crew, because I just think Run Crews are like free.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I
Most
didn't know,
are.
yeah, so I didn't know that when you're tied into a brand like that, you like have to wear their shoes.
They expect that some like if you're sponsored by a footwear brand that the members are wearing the shoe because that's what they're getting out of it. It's free marketing for not free, but it's marketing for the
Well,
brand.
how can you make people that in a free crew wear something?
You can't. That's why I never do it.
Okay.
But Philly's a little bit different when it comes to the Run Crew world. So like brands aren't really sponsoring Run Crews in Philadelphia. The ones that they are Philly Runner Track Club, and you have to pay to be a member of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I just wanted to get that.
Yeah. Nah, if it's free, like, bro, that's why I don't do it because I'm like, y'all don't even pay for this. Why am I making y'all wear this certain thing?
So, have you ever had to say no to a brand that that didn't align to what you were trying to do?
Yeah,
How did that feel, and how did you go about it, knowing that you're giving up this brand opportunity that you might have?
Yeah, because I'm very true to who I am, right? And if your brand messaging and your ethos don't really align with what I and what we are doing, it's just a no. There's brands all the time that like hit us up in the DMs of Instagram and have emailed like, hey, we got this race going on. Like, can you trade us some content for blah 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 blah? And it's like, no. Like I don't want again, I don't want to like put any work on the members of my crew. They might not mind at all, but to me, I'm not going to ask you guys to do this. They like, let's make content and you guys got to run this race and they'll give you like a t-shirt for what? If there's going to be something to talk about, and I'm not Mr. Money, but like I know you got to give some bread to have my ear. Unless like I genuinely mess with the brand. If you're just sliding in my DMs, yeah, we got to talk money. But I don't work like that. I work off relationships. So if there's a brand that you see me working with, it's because there's a relationship between me and someone at that brand.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've rejected a lot, but it's because their intentions are not pure in my brain. They could be, but like off the jump, they don't seem that way. I'm not messing with it.
I understand. So, what's been the most underrated skill in like building a community-based brand like you have?
Underrated skill. I genuinely love people, right? That's my superpower. Like I'm always trying to be out. I always want to get everyone together. So like that's my why as to why this crew exists and being in this culture is to bring people together. And I think that people are kind of losing that and doing it for other reasons, whether it's clout or to get that brand deal or just to be all in the gram, all in the videos, all in the shouts to Suge Knight. But my God.
Can't shot advice.
Yeah. So I feel like if you're building community, like you have to genuinely, you have to have a great why as to why you're building this community. If that's pure and that's your intentions are great and straight and narrow, it's gonna succeed. But when you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, that's a wave. Waves fizzle and die, and that could be what you're trying to build, and more power to you. But like that's not really my thing.
So at this point, is it just you behind the scenes of Issa Run Crew and Runners Hospitality, or do you have other people that you kind of like talk to and
I love this
that try to help you out?
question because for years I'm a big like I'm gonna do everything on my own, not because like I want the notoriety and I want the praise for it. I just like again, I don't got money to be paying anybody and asking people to like give up their time, the most valuable thing we have. It's not my favorite thing to do, but like members have told me like, bruv, We will help you. Like, stop doing this all on your own. And it's my fault that I'm like, no, I'll try to juggle 17 things at the same time. So I have help on certain things. To the point of like brands coming with money and like things like that. If opportunities arise, I always come in house first.
Yeah.
I always go to my friends in my run crew. If I need something printed, I come to you. If I need some design, I go to my guys at and consumer grade. If I need videography, I go in house for everything. So that's one way. I'm trying to take baby steps into like letting go of all the responsibilities, but we're working on it. I'm a work in progress, just like everyone else.
So how you managing all of that without like killing without killing the your flow? Like how do you manage all the
Yeah,
back end and
I
trying
don't
to accomplish all of that?
believe in. I've yet to ever be overwhelmed in life.
Do you
Like
have
I
a
don't.
system?
Not really. You just gotta. FIO. You gotta figure it out, man. Like I try to keep things very black and white, left and right. Like if there's a problem, you gotta figure it out this way or that way, and you then move on to the next problem. So it's like you just have to. I don't get stressed out about anything, right? At the end of the day, this is running. Right? It's not that serious of a thing. It's a hobby for most of us, and the work I'm doing is because I want to. This is extra. This is like, sure, I could be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this, and we need to work on that. But like that's not my main goal. My main goal is to bring community and bring people together. So like it's all gonna get figured out. So the system is not to stress about anything. You can juggle as many paws as you'd like, but let's change that. You can wear as many hats as you'd like.
Nah, juggle the balls.
Juggle the balls, all right? We're juggling the balls.
I can't change it now.
You can juggle as many balls as you'd like. Pause. But you just have to realize that like you can't get stressed because as soon as you stress, you're gonna start dropping them.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that because that's when everything goes wrong. But just stay calm.
Yeah.
Figure it out. That's FIO. I say that at least 39 million times a day. Figure it out. We gotta figure it out.
Yeah, because I've seen some of the branding that you do for both of the brands, and it does look like you have a pretty solid team behind you. So like, what system do you have in terms of like trying to decide like what's worth your energy in terms of where you need to be? Like I said, we just wrapped off marathon weekend, and I felt like you did some stuff for on running. But you also hosted dinners. You also did this. You also did that and the
Yeah.
third. So like, how do you figure out what's worth your energy?
Marathon's very specific and special because I've been building that since 2000. I started the crew in 17, and 2018 marathon was when the first time I was like, we need to put some events together. Philadelphia is the sixth largest city in the United States, and I felt like after going to other cities' marathons that our marathon was trash. I still have problems with our marathon, but like I'm growing, and I'm not going to say anything negative about them. But we have things that we still need to fix. With that, I'm very big on if there's something that doesn't exist that I want, I'm just going to build it. So we just started putting events together and it started growing. Like you said, there was a yoga event, a kickoff dinner, so many things. And it's not a matter of what's worth my time as much as it's what do people need, right? Like what would be positive to their to their race weekend experience. That's where the women's yoga event came. Marathon week is insane. Let me give you a time to just chill out a little bit and relax. Let's do that. The kickoff event that we do, I feel like we don't do a good job of telling the stories of the people that are actually in the community. They bring these ambassadors from which some of the professional ambassadors are great, but like, what about the people that really run in the cities, that are in these crews and these clubs that are helping this whole run movement grow in a real, genuine way? Let's tell those stories. Cool. The dinner is more of a team dinner, but also with an extension to the some out-of-town crews and clubs. So like these folks that are coming to our city, I want to make sure that you have the best possible time in this city. Here's a dinner. Just come by. It's nothing formal. Slide through, eat, meet some like-minded people, get going. And then you get to the meet and greet, the meat of the weekend, pause, and it's the cheer sections, the shakeout run, the after parties, and that's just common sense, right? Like, let's celebrate these folks on the course. The shakeout run, that's you need a shakeout before your race, but like everyone does one. But here, if you want to cheer and shake out, do it from here. And then the after parties. Again, I'm gonna do those better than everybody, and folks have tried to do them. They still do, and it's like you're not doing it better than mine. So
So I know you when you doing the marathon weekend, you were doing stuff for on running. Um, how do you make sure that something like that is a win for everybody and not just like, hey, I'm doing work with on
yeah,
running.
that's
It's a
that's
movement
that's another
movement.
that's big for me as well.
Have you ever had pushback in terms of like a campaign on execution or when you had something like that being done?
Yeah. So how I make sure that everyone wins is that's just how I work. I'm never gonna just take. You got to get something back and receive, right? So when I
So in that case, what do they expect? Like, what would they expect?
that with as I mentioned earlier, I work off relationships. So Francesca at On, I know we're pretty good friends. We're close. We chat, and I'd let her know like, hey, we're doing this marathon weekend. Would you like to help make, I call it the user experience, even better? So that's it's when there's a brand involved for me, because I'm already built this thing. I'm allowing you to be a part of this, right? That needs to be understood. It's my party. I'm just letting you come. Pause. So we chatted, and just to make sure that we're on the same page, Francesca and I, and like she doesn't overstep any boundaries. I'm try not to be an a-hole like when it comes to like this is mine, this is mine. So you got to meet in the middle. But I never want to lose. I never want to let any brand think that the event's theirs. I've been to events where you see the branding all over the place and it becomes the brand's event. That will never happen. And that's understood from the jump when it comes to working with me on anything that I created. You're not taking credit for that. That's fucking insane to me. So at the same time, what am I doing for you, brand that's coming in, right? So like you need certain content, you need your branding on a few things. Like I can do those things for you as much as I might not want to, but like I have to give you something. So your name all over the this, that, and the third, that's cool. I can give you a little bit of that, but we can't lose the fact that this is an IRC or a runner's hospitality event. What was the second part? Have I had any events that didn't go that?
Yeah, that you had to push back on or change the execution on it.
Not so much because, yeah, there was a brand this past marathon that wanted to do the dinner a certain way, and like
So all of that is all sponsored as well, including the dinner.
this year, yeah, this year we were blessed enough to get that taken care of, which I normally just pay for it. Capital
Out of
One.
pocket?
Quicksilver, Capital One, just swipe that thing. But like we sell tickets to the after party, so that normally pays for that part of
Okay.
it. But they wanted to do it a certain way at this like nice bougie sit down restaurant, which like there's a world where that needs to happen. Like we need to have some bougie exclusive dinners for marathon, but like I didn't want it coming at the expense of being able to invite as many people as I wanted, if that makes any sense. So I kind of had to let them know, like, hey, I see you moving forward with this, but that's not how we do things. And again, this is my party that I'm inviting you to. So listen to me on this. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do it really well.
That's good. I mean, that's pretty cool. Cause I never realized that all of that was taken care of like this past.
Yeah. You can go about working with these brands in many ways, but like I want to give anything that I get, I want to give it back, right? Like I want the people that have rocked with me all year to benefit from these brand relationships. I want the folks that are coming in from out of town to benefit from these brand relationships that they might not have, because most people are just out here running. Most people don't have relationships like I have. I'll say that, and you're the same way. You know people in places that like your average folk can't get to. You're in rooms that folks can't get to, and I am too. But it's not like I don't use that as a flex. I'm a people's person. People like me. What can I say?
Yeah.
But I want to, because folks aren't like me and in these rooms and having these relationships, I want to use that. I'm blessed, right? So let me take my blessing and bless you all. So
Yeah. I mean, that leads me to the question that I know a lot of people struggle with monetizing the things that they love. So how do you stay rooted in impact while also making sure that you're getting paid for it?
God, this is a terrible question for me because I don't get paid as much as I should, and it's okay because I'm here for the people. But we're gonna work on the getting paid part. You just gotta stand true to your values, man. That comes first. we work together, and there's certain things I'm like, I can't do that, bro. I can't, because just you got to stay true to who you are, and that goes back to what like earlier when I mentioned why you're creating this space, right? If you stand true to what your core values are for this brand as a person, that's what I am first. All the God stuff, and it's not fake, guys. I'm really out here, Team
Yeah,
Jesus,
he goes
but
to
like
church every Sunday. He
every
posted,
Sunday.
posted with him and Agnes. Shout out Agnes.
Shouts to Agnes. If you stay true to your core values of your brand of a run crew, you don't have to worry about anything, right? Like if it's to get 1 million views and you want to be the greatest influencer, I think it's trash. But stay true to that. Don't go trying to switch lanes because the waves are going that way. Stay true to what your core is, your core values, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But with that will come if your core values are pure and great, the money will come. The money comes. The
It's all
brands will
about
come in.
building a relationship with people, and and once you make sure that you're pure with your intentions of what you want from people, people are gonna see that, and it's gonna reflect.
It's so
back
simple.
into-
It really is, right? People like are chasing brand deals and want to make it seem like, oh, this brand sponsored us, and then I know what it is, bro. They're not sponsoring. They just pulled up with it for a demo.
Yeah.
Stop it, right? I get you want to make it look a certain way.
Yeah.
Build a relationship. That stuff will come. You can't dive right in like, just started a run crew. We got 30 people. Nike, what's up? We want LeBron to come to the run like my guy. That's not how this works.
Well, Gunner to show
Yeah,
up.
we want Gunna. That's how they feel. Like we commented on all your posts. Why didn't you pull up? And that's not how it works. It's like, what value do you add to what? Why would that brand want to talk to you?
Yeah.
Why?
What value you add into
What
the
value do you
community?
add to the community?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing that's standing out, right? Why is your mission different than this
Every other
crew's?
run crew that's wrong.
Every other run, because there's so many, and there's so many that are out there for the wrong reasons, and that's why you're not blowing up, guys.
Yeah. So, what does success look like to you long term? Is it more events? Is it owning a space? Is it building a product line?
It's more events, more events, and product is in there as well, but not necessarily more events, just events on a bigger scale, right? Like I really just want to reach as many people and give them that feeling. So here I had a chat with my boy G, this past marathon weekend, Philly marathon weekend. You've seen how I move, and that you came to New York to watch me run, and then we went out a little bit, and you see like the love that I got when I came through the cheer section, the confettis. And there's so like 55,000 people run the New York City Marathon. Most of them aren't getting that reaction. And if I can, through my events, through the cheer sections, through all that, if I can give as many people as possible that feeling that they are the main character, it's main character energy. That's the new thing on the internet. If I can give people that feeling, because it feels good, it feels great, right? If I can
Like
give that,
somebody cares about
that
you.
cares about you. You're not just out there running for the sake of running. And if you're doing that, good. But let me tell you, when you have people backing you and you get that one moment to like run through that confetti to feel like you're the superstar, if I can give as many people that feeling as possible, then I call it success. And that might come with partnering with bigger brands and being able to throw bigger events and bigger parties and things like that. So we're just going to keep growing. We're doing well, and I just want to do better. So as long as McDonald's has that sign, they used to. I don't know if they still do. Like 3 million burgers served. I want like 3 million people to feel that feeling of being the main character because of something that we've put together.
So you would say it's more of a legacy thing for you instead of a reach thing.
Yeah, I'd say that. I want people to look back at like their race calendar for the year and be like, that was special because that runner's out, like that race was cool, but like also the whole weekend, right?
The
I
whole
went to this
experience.
dope dinner. I met so many good people. That after party was crazy. Like I want the totality of the weekend to
All put together by runners
all
hospitality.
put together by Runners Hospitality. That's that's what I long for. That's what I want to be remembered as, the guy that gave people a good feeling.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's special.
I'm trying to be
It
special.
makes my
man.
heart warm. But what's one thing you haven't done yet that's on your on your vision board for 2026?
The big, I don't really do vision boards, but like what I've always wanted was a race to bring us in and be like, yo, take care of that part of it, right? Run the culture marketing, whatever you want to call it. Like, take care of everything we do. I want to be the bridge between brand, whatever brand it is, whether it be the race, shoes, clothing, whatever, and the community they're trying to serve. If Runners Hospitality and Issa Run Crew can be that bridge for, again, a major to give us a little bit more reach, that would be great. But at the same time, I don't need that. It would just be great. That would be a little bit of ketchup on the burger. The burger's good by itself, but that ketchup is a little bit better. I love ketchup. So that's kind of that's the vision board goal. But also, like, I say that, but at the same time, I I'm having I've got a feeling inside that I want to get back to like the beginning of Runners Hospitality, where we just pulled up and like through some events off the strength of like knowing some folks, hit the boys up down in like Miami. Like, I'm trying to do Miami Marathon this weekend. Not this weekend, this year. It's in early January. So I hit the guys up like, hey, do we throw a party?
You're not trying to run it, but just
Not trying to run it, just trying to activate. Like, yo, do we throw a party? And they're kind of itching to do the same. So it's kind of two goals: just to stay true to the Runners Hospitality like ethos, which is like just bringing everybody together, but also like I kind of want to do it on a big scale. So that's one of the issues with Runners Hospital, with like everything I do. Like I said earlier, I'm hipster in that, like, as soon as something gets cool, I'm like, man, I don't fuck with that no more. But I'm trying to balance that because it's a business, right? You want to be huge.
you want to be a part of the trend.
Want to be a part of the trend, but also, like, when it gets too big, pause. I don't want to. How do I like keep it simple, but like still give you that same feeling of that same home cooking, while doing it on a grand level? So we're working on that. And it's a problem I hope to have. Let's just say that is trying to stay true to our roots while appealing to the masses and putting out some merch.
Yeah, and putting out some merch. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this was a great conversation. I have a couple rapid fire questions for you.
Rapid fire, I love rapid fire.
Kind of end it.
It's
probably not going to be rapid fire, to be honest.
No, I talk too much.
They're more like stories.
I purposely didn't look at them when you sent the question so I can try to keep it short.
I don't usually send questions out to people. I usually just let people answer.
I wish you did that with me.
Yeah,
like
answer to your head. But what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you mid-event or mid-race?
Mid-race? Mid-race. I'll just go recently. I dropped all my gels. And my electrolytes, which led to all the cramping at the marathon, which led to me smoking weed at mile 21.
Okay, is that why you started slow? Because I was watching, that's why you started slowing down.
Cramps, bro. I had no electrolytes. Those times came crashing. And then when I saw you, that's when my boy hit me. He passed the J. Hit a little bit of marijuana, never hurt anybody. I ran the rest of that race high.
I saw a couple people do that in videos. Some people just hitting the joint.
And that's not something I do, people. Like, when I run,
you did not condone.
You can do it, right? When I race, I race. But that thing was going so bad, I was like, this can't make it any worse. Let's there we go.
Loosen up the
bro.
body.
I felt great.
Race that you would do again just for the vibes.
For the vibes, Houston half marathon and marathon weekend, and it was not all the race, because like races are races to me. Houston's a dope city, bro. You've been to Houston. That's where all the Africans.
I've never been, but that's where
You've never been to Houston, bro. Houston is so dope of a city.
You find every single Nigerian there.
Every Nigerian. I think the second largest population of Nigerians outside of Nigeria is in Houston. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious.
I think England or something.
I really think it's Houston.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up when we get out of here.
Brand collab that you're calling your shot for in 2026. Who do you want to work with in 2026?
Oh man, who do I want to work with? I don't know. That's a tough one. I won't say a brand. I really want one of these races to holler at me, just because, like, if I can reach every person that's running that race, like when you mess with a brand, like you get their followers, right?
Yeah.
But like the race can hit everybody, so that kind of more aligns with it. So like that person that doesn't have anything to do, they're gonna see like, oh, we got this going on, and then they'll come to an event. So it's not necessarily a brand. Like there are brands that like, New Balance. I like New Balance.
Yeah,
I like what they're doing in the lifestyle sense, and I think like the way they tie some of their lifestyle to their running is really good. I think they can do better, but they're one brand that like I don't get the ick, as the kids say, when I think about. There's certain brands like
Everybody's rocking New Balance now. They're lifestyle shoes. And
they are.
Shout out New Balance. I have like 10 pairs. I love them.
You're from Philly, you have to.
Yeah.
It's part of the uniform.
What's the most very Richard advice that you would give others but don't follow yourself?
Oh God. Accept your flowers, right? Accept compliments. Like there's people, whatever you're doing and the world we live in with social media, you can reach anybody, anywhere. And there's somebody watching that like really messes with what you're doing. It can be the worst idea ever, but there's somebody that it resonates with, right? And like it might not be 7 million people and 7 million views, but like those 10 people that mess with what you're doing, right? They do, right? And that can grow.
Yeah.
Accept the compliments from them, right? Like respond to them. I'm lying. I do that. Why I'm lying. But anyway, so like
It's still an advice.
yeah, is you just gotta be patient. That's the advice I'll give. And I kind of I'm like one of the most patient people on earth when it comes to like life stuff, but certain things I'm not patient about. And like that idea you have, it's not like going to what I was saying, it might not pop right away, but like keep growing, keep at it. Consistency, gotta be consistent. And like with the Run Crew, it was 5 of us every Monday, and it was stagnant as heck. And then like suddenly it grew to 10, 15, 20, and now here we are going into year 9. So you got to just stick with it, stay consistent, stay patient, and like really believe in what you're doing, and it'll all work out. Unless it doesn't, and then just give up.
Then just find a new hobby.
Yeah. You also got to know when to quit. That's
one thing. You got
to know when to quit. Quitting is not always bad. You got to know when to quit. Be patient, but also know when like, hey, got to wrap it up.
I don't think I necessarily would call it quitting.
Not quitting. No.
I would say a redirection.
Redirection. That works.
Redirection.
Because that idea might not be like. It just might not be as fine-tuned as you might need
and
it
doesn't
to be,
resonate with what you actually want to do.
Yeah. So redirection that's a better way of phrasing it.
Rich, I appreciate you, coming
course.
and us having a conversation. It's always a good time when we, get together and have a talk. We recently honestly just put together some merch for the Philly Marathon.
Was a hit.
We sold some T-shirts. We sold some T-shirts within a week that we put out. I know you said you want to start some more merch going. With Runners Hospitality.
We're expanding.
Next year. So that was great. Getting a chance to work with you and just seeing the behind the scenes of how you work. And but like I said, this conversation was great full of strategy and how other people can possibly get into what you do in terms of throwing events and building a community as well. So let people know where they can find you, support the crew, and just kind of tap into what you're doing.
Yeah, I've always claimed to be the most accessible person ever. So you can call me if you'd like, text me, holler at me, hit me up on the gram, Richard Issa, or the Runners Hospitality Instagram page, the Issa Run Crew page. We run all types of times, but like running's not for everybody. If you don't want to come and run, just come hang out at one of the events that we throw. Yeah. We're outside.
He means that. I think every time I see him, he's always outside.
I'm outside.
He does not know how to stay inside at all.
I like the people. I like people.
Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you, watching the show today. We're going to get back to it, get you more episodes once a month. So thank you for giving us a chance and watching this video with us. And I appreciate you for, watching it as well.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. I always forget that. I always got to tell you all to subscribe. So subscribe to the channel. Majuri Arijaja. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on IG as well. Appreciate y'all, and I hope everybody has a great start to 2026, and let's get after it. Thank you.